Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. The stock market has been on fire today. It's on fire because I told y'all the fire was coming. I mean, if you were listening last week, I told you this was probably going to happen. I'm explaining and reverse engineer for you right now exactly why I felt like this was going to occur, what this means, and how you can put money in your pocket. So get comfortable, buckle up, seatbelt. We're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Good morning. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I am your friendly neighborhood finance professor. On the Black Financial Channel, we talk about Black wealth. We put Black people first, and that is our top priority. On the Black Financial Channel, we also believe in educating our kids on economics. We also believe in taking over. We believe our people are going to take over the economic game. You're already seeing examples of this all throughout the community as economics has become a fundamental part of Black culture. If you agree with this philosophy, the B1 philosophy, B1 meaning Black first, put a hashtag B and the number one in the chat. Hashtag B1 means that you are Black first and you're not ashamed of it. You're unapologetic about it. We ain't got to apologize for nothing. So I want to start off actually by saying hello to everybody. Shout out your city. Let me know which city you're from. Everybody shout out the city that you're coming from. And I want to congratulate my brothers over at Earn Your Leisure and the Wall Street Trapper, my homie. I talked to Big Trap a couple times, and they did a great event called Invest Fest, and I was really proud of them for what they did because it really shows something that I was hoping for. This is like my dream, back in the day when Dr. King had a dream. My dream was that Black wealth would become Black culture. That, when Joe Biden says, well, if you don't vote Democrat, then you ain't Black. I always thought that was a bunch of BS. I think that's stupid. I think that's ignorant. But to me, if you ain't building wealth with your family and building wealth with your people and building wealth with your children, then you ain't Black. Give me a yes in the chat. Give me an amen in the chat if you agree with me. If Black wealth needs to become just fundamental in our families. And so I was really proud of what they did in Atlanta. We're going to do a stock option summit in Atlanta pretty soon as well. And I was really impressed with what they did. And y'all know I've been working with Charlamagne the God for a long time. And I used to tell people when I first started all this stuff, it was like crickets. I would talk about Black wealth. People act like I was crazy. They would think that something was wrong with me. Like, why are you going to talk about economics? I said, because Black people love money, stupid. And we need money. The money is the number one reason they enslave us. So I said, if I could get the rappers to start rapping about economics and get the rappers to start rapping about ownership, then it's going to be game over. Because remember, hip hop culture was what they used to destroy you. They took over hip hop culture in the early 90s when they flipped the positive rap, KRS-One, You Must Learn, Public Enemy, Fight the Power. They flipped it over to, bitch, it ain't shit, and kill that Negro and give my money all the way to Gucci. They did that on purpose. I believe that was deliberately done to keep you backwards and stuck on stupid. So now the culture is shifting back. So when people talk about the culture, that's the part of the culture that I give my complete stamp of approval on. And I love what what the guys are doing. When I talked to Wall Street Trapper, I really liked his approach because he appeals to the people that brothers that are formerly incarcerated, people that felt like they had to live in the trap. And I say, look, I don't want to live in the trap. Black people should not be in the trap. I think that we need to be free. So if you agree with black people being free, give me a yes in the chat. Wealth is your key to freedom. So anyway, shout out to them for what they did. I'm really impressed and really happy for them. And that was always my goal. I had an argument. I never told anybody about this. Actually, before we jump into the stock market stuff, I want to tell y'all a quick story. I had a 3-hour argument in 2014 or something with Beyonce's road manager. So this guy, he was some guy who was the road manager of Beyonce. Every now and then a celebrity will call me or something. And he was swearing up and down that Jay-Z was this pro-Black guy who believes in Black wealth and believes in the same things I believe and all that. And I said, well, if he believes it, then why the hell is he rapping about this other shit? Like, if you believe in Black wealth, if you believe in progress, then why would you rap about giving all your money away to white people? Why are you rapping about Gucci and Prada and Louis and Tom Ford and all this other crap? And we went back and forth. And I said, look, who you are in public matters sometimes more than who you are in private. Who you are in private matters in terms of shaping your integrity and all that. But who you are in public matters because that's what is going to influence the children. Who you are in public is what's going to make people see what they're going to see, right? That's how you're using your branding, your power, your influence. That's what you do in public. So it's one thing if a rapper is ignorant and he raps about ignorant stuff because he don't know no better. I get that, right? I understand. If you're ignorant, then don't worry about it. I'm not mad at you because ignorant people, they just don't know how ignorant they are. It's like being dead. Dead people don't know they're dead. It's the people around them that have to suffer, right? But if you are, but the thing that my biggest pet peeve, let me tell you my biggest pet peeve. I got to get this off my chest this morning. I hope you don't mind because we are going to talk about this stock stuff. I promise you. When we walk away, you will know ways to make more money. My biggest pet peeve is not an ignorant person who's ignorant. It is an intelligent person who hides their intelligence. I can't stand it when an intelligent black man pretends to be ignorant just so he can fit into a toxic, broken, fucked up culture. Excuse my French. I'm not going to cuss no more. I promise. But I'm serious. It drives me crazy. So what was really fascinating, which I really liked, and I don't even know if this conversation had anything to do with it, because at that time, remember, I worked with Russell Simmons and stuff on some mass incarceration campaigns and whatnot. But like shortly after that, Jay-Z came out with that album 444. And if you recall, that was a turning point in terms of him really rapping deep about economics. A lot of the artists stopped being scared of being black. So now it's not just economics and it's not just blackness, it's black economics. So that makes you a threat. That's where you're really fighting for the real power. That's when they're really going to come for you. Just understand, Martin Luther King got killed when he started talking about economics. When you talk about marching and praying to white Jesus and all this other stuff, you're not a threat. That's okay. They'll allow you to do that. But when you really start trying to go after the big piece of chicken and going after economic power and going after ownership and assets and everything else, that's when they really have a problem with you. So don't be surprised if the dirty tricks start propping up, because capitalism is a system that is not designed to allow black people to succeed. Capitalism was built on your backs. Capitalism is not always evil, but it was built on the backs of slavery and your free labor. All right. So give me a yes in the chat if you get what I'm saying, so I can move on to the next topic. I had to take a couple minutes and just really lay that out there. And speaking of conventions and whatnot, you guys know the All Black National Convention is coming up October 28th through the 30th in Charlotte, North Carolina. If you haven't gotten your passes, bring your whole family, bring your grandma, bring your kids. We have a whole educational track for children. It's going to be amazing. The former CEO of the Air Jordan brand, who is the chairman of the board, Larry Miller, who built the Air Jordan brand. He took Michael Jordan's brand from $300 million a year to $3 billion a year. He's going to join me. Also, billionaire Mike Roberts is going to be there. And everybody needs to know about Mike Roberts because he is a pro-black billionaire. You talk about allies. He's a true ally. I went to Africa with Mike. Mike and I are cool. We actually got adopted by the same African tribe, the Kubio Kansi family. And so Mike is going to be there as well. So it's going to be a lot of other great people. So go to boycewatkins.com or allblacknationalconvention.com if you want to be a vendor or if you want to get passes or whatever the case may be. All right. So anyway, let's move on. So how many of you made money today in the stock market? How many of you are feeling good right now because your money went up? You opened up your app and you saw a lot of green. Green is good typically in most of these apps. If you got Robinhood, green means you're making money. How many of you woke up today and saw that you were getting bread out of this stock market? Getting bread like a baker. I know it's great. My daddy used to work for this company called Bunny Bread. He used to pick me up in the Bunny Bread truck, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. So a lot of you are making money right now, and I'm super happy for you. And this is one of those like weird little, if I was to be a little cocky, I would throw in and I told you so, because I told you guys a few days ago, I said that the stock market is waiting to explode. The stock market is looking for any excuse, any piece of information to overreact to. The market is notorious for overreacting. Alan Greenspan called it irrational exuberance. But on the darker side, you get that extreme reaction on the negative side as well. The market overreacts. All through my doctoral program, I learned about all these fundamental mechanical reasons why the market tends to overreact. When it overreacts to the downside, it's because of leverage, because there's so much leverage, so much debt. When it overreacts to the upside, it's because people just get excited. Money makes you high. Money affects your brain like a drug. So people get, right? So the market right now is on fire. There's a good chance it'll keep going up. And the reason it's going up is because you had a little bitty tiny divot in inflation. Let's just be clear. Here's what's crazy about it. Yeah, let me just start by asking y'all a question. Do you think that 8.5% inflation is high inflation? Like, do you think 8.5% is pretty bad? What do y'all think? You think 8.5% is inflation is is okay, or you think it's a problem? What do y'all think? Yes or no? You think or good or bad? You think it's good or bad? What do y'all think? 8.5% CPI, the Consumer Price Index. It's terrible. It's horrible. I mean, it's frighteningly high. It's a problem. Well, why is the market reacting so happily about inflation if 8.5% sucks? Well, the reason is because they expected 8.7%. If I'm not mistaken, I got to go. I'm gonna read the article to you. But literally, it's expectations. It's like you got a cousin that is hooked on crack. And you know that cousin ain't shit because he's on drugs, right? Drugs, that's why I hate drugs. Drugs are the worst thing that ever happened to the black community. If you're a rapper and you're promoting drugs, you're not my friend because you're anti-black. You might as well be a Klansman. So imagine if you got a cousin on crack, and let's say normally he smokes, I don't know crack in like kilos or pounds or whatever, but let's say normally on a typical day he smokes 8 ounces of crack. But he says, hey, one day I'm gonna get off this crack. I promise you, and I'm going to really start becoming a good person. So then you hear that instead of smoking 8 ounces a day, he dropped down to 6 ounces a day. So imagine if people got so excited because they said, oh my God, he's going to be off crack now because he's only smoking 6 ounces a day. Is your cousin still a crackhead? Yes or no? Is he still a crackhead at 6 ounces like he was at 8? Yes. He's still a crackhead, but he's a lesser crackhead than he was before. So a lot of times the market reacts to momentum. The market reacts to direction and velocity. And it simply says, inflation is not as high as we thought it was going to be. It was headed up, up, up. The velocity was positive. Now it's slowing down. But it's still really high. And it can still go up. So don't get too excited right now because everything that's being given to you right now can be taken away very fast. So my thought right now is it's okay to be optimistic. I mean, celebrate. You making money. I always want you to make money, but I want you to also realize that which is being given to you could be easily taken away, and I want you to get ready for that. You don't prepare for the storm after it starts raining. You prepare for the storm when the sun is out. So if there's a move you want to make, you want to shave some off the top, go ahead and sell. If it's not everything, so maybe sell a little bit, right? That way you're ready to take advantage of the long-term trend, which is going to be upward. If you're trying to get a put option at a certain price that might have been too costly last week, maybe you can buy that put now because now that price isn't going to really sell at the same level that it would before, right? So just remember that this is the time to prepare for what is inevitably going to be another market decline. I told you guys the market is a what would be the word? Manic depressive? Yeah, that might be good. The market is manic. The market they get mania on the upside, mania on the downside. One example is in your own family. How many of you got relatives that swear that the stock market is the devil? How many of y'all got like a grandma that swears that if you put your money in the market, you're going to lose it all because the market's crooked and they just going to steal your money? Or you got a cousin that don't put your money in the stock market. It's all rigged. The Federal Reserve is owned by the Rothschilds and they're going to take all your bread. I get all that. I understand. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are conspiracies out here. But if you look at the history and you look at the data, which is all I did all through my doctoral program, the whole time I was on the faculty at Syracuse University, that's all I did was look at stock market data. I can tell you with complete certainty that people who consistently invest in the stock market are the ones that have all the money in America. The key thing, though, is you got to do it smart. You got to be consistent. So anyway, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. I have a couple things I want to tell you. Number one, public service announcement. There are fake Boyce Watkinses all over the internet. I don't know if they're coming out of some Eastern European country or wherever, but there are a lot of fake Boyce Watkinses that might hit you up and say, here, inbox me about my crypto scam, or I'm with the Crypto Academy or something. If you go to a page or you see anything, or if you're on Instagram, I have a blue check mark on my page. That's how you know it's me. If you see me on Facebook and it says that I'm a faculty member at the Crypto Academy or some crap, somebody created a whole page. They even put my wife's image on it, and they're hitting people up and they're taking people's money. And I have to warn you about that because I don't want you to get taken. The second thing I want to mention is the shout out. One of the shout outs for today is Demetrius Wright. Demetrius Wright has a platform called Black Money Matters. And Black Money Matters is out of St. Louis. And let me tell you, Demetrius has been at it for years. He is very consistent. I met this brother many years ago, and I was super impressed with him. And I want you to know, Demetrius, I haven't forgotten you. And so if you want to support Black Money Matters and support young Black men who are doing great things, go to blackmoneymatters.com. He has merchandise there. You can use the code word BOYCE and get a discount. I don't have the discount in front of me, but just go to blackmoneymatters.com, use the code word BOYCE. If you'd like to get a Dr. Boy shout out on the platform, you have a business or a YouTube channel, you want me to shout it out, just go to drboycefinance.com. The shout outs are not free because life ain't free. Freedom ain't free. We got to pay the bills. We don't take corporate sponsorship here, and we don't take government money. So ultimately we have to pay our own price for freedom. So if you want to do a shout out, though, the cost of advertising is very, very low on this platform. We reach 1 million people a week. We built this on our own. There was no big corporation, a big bank that came along and helped us do any of this. We built this from the ground up on our own, and we would love to have your support, and we will support you by shouting you out to all of our listeners. Okay, so drboycefinance.com is where you can go to get a shout out for your business. Now, here's what I want to do now is I want to read this article to you in terms of telling you what's going on. It looks like the Dow is up. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up by about 514 points. That is a wonderful thing. Also, they said that inflation climbed 8.5% in July, which was lower than expectations, which I believe were about 8.7%. Not a big difference, but it was enough for people to get excited. You see, what's also happening is that the market is just waiting. It's looking for a reason. You know, people say like, I wish a blank blank could. I wish a MF would. You know what I mean? Like you're like easily triggered. Like you're just like waiting for somebody to like tap you on the shoulder so you can punch them in the face, right? So the market's kind of like that. The market is constantly, like looking to say, okay, it's okay to go out there and invest again. It's okay to go out there and invest again. And what you're seeing right now is you're seeing the return of the retail investors. The retail traders, these were the people that came in during 2020 when the money was easy to make, when anybody invested in pretty much anything was able to do well in the stock market. So ultimately, what is happening now is a lot of these investors are coming back. In fact, there is a frenzy in terms of meme stocks. If you look at some of the meme stocks like AMC, GameStop, Bed Bath & Beyond, and there are a few others I'll mention to you in a second, they're doing actually quite well. And so if you are an investor and you have your safe investments and you want to have a little bit of fun and dig into a meme stock, some of these meme stocks, it can be a nice little ride. I mean, I have a little bit of AMC just for fun. AMC is not my best investment. AMC is a little bit like my stock market version of Dogecoin, but it's okay. I want to just sort of give you permission, if that's something that you value, to just kind of have a little bit of fun if you want to. Just don't make that kind of your core investment. If you tell me that you have 50% of your portfolio in AMC, you can't tell me you're an investor. You're not an investor. You're a gambler at that point, okay? But if you're dabbling in it and you're having a little bit of fun and you're trying it out and you know what it is, I look at it almost like dating. Sometimes when you're dating, you ain't looking for nothing serious. You might just want to have a one-night stand. I'm not here to judge any of that, but just don't have too many one-night stands or you're going to catch an STD and end up with 8 babies, mama. So we don't want you to end up in that position. All right, so let's move on. Hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, share, subscribe. Hello to everybody on Instagram, by the way. My Instagram is The Real Boyce Watkins. Feel free to follow me. Just look for the blue check mark, though, to make sure it's me, because the scammers are out there. All right, so it says prices that consumers pay for a variety of goods and services rose 8.5% in July from a year ago. A slowing pace from the previous month due largely to a drop in gasoline prices. On a monthly basis, prices were flat as energy prices broadly declined 4.6% and gasoline fell 7.7%. That offset a 1.1% monthly gain in food prices. So food is going up, gas is going down, energy is going down. Now, these were things that we knew before. This is why I was kind of telling you guys a few days ago, I said, you might get a little bit of a market pop because I think that these inflation numbers are not going to be as bad as we might expect. And so when I saw the pop, I was like, oh, there it is. Okay. And the thing was, and here's the thing, if you get an indicator that something might happen, you want to get prepared in advance. If you're jumping in kind of after it happens, you're kind of missing the boat. Okay. So anyway, let me keep reading here. So it also says that excluding volatile food and energy prices, the so-called core CPI rose 5.9% annually and 0.3% monthly compared to respected estimates of 6.1% and 0.5%. So core consumer price index, which excludes food and energy prices, It rose 5.9%, which is still really high. Remember, the Fed's target. Does anybody know? Give me an answer in the chat. What is the Fed's target inflation rate? Does anybody know what the Fed's target inflation actually is? What do y'all think? Anybody know? It is 2%. 2%. So we're operating way outside the boundaries of target inflation. And this was highly predictable because all through the pandemic, experts like me were screaming and hollering at Jay Powell, at the chairman of the Fed, asking, why do you keep pumping all this stimulus into the economy? It's not really going to help anybody, because you make, the psychologically you think it's helping poor people, but actually inflation doesn't help you. Right. So if I give you another a couple $1,000s, but I'm jacking up inflation to an insane level to where your rent's going up, your food's going up, your gas is going up, that's not really helping you. Okay. Inflation tends to benefit investors. That's why you want to invest. That's why you invest for your children, because when inflation happens, the worst kind of inflation has occurred in areas like stock markets, asset inflation. Rich people make more money because when inflation pops in, the prices of stocks go up. It's also real estate. If you own real estate, if you own any real estate at all, you probably made money because the value of real estate's gone up. It's really expensive to buy houses now. Before the pandemic, about 30% of all houses cost less than $300,000. After the pandemic, 10% of all houses cost less than $300,000. So $300,000 is not enough to buy a decent house anymore, which is crazy. And so ultimately, that's another reason why you want to invest, because when you are invested, you benefit from asset inflation. Other areas of inflation, college tuition, insane. I've been a college professor a long time. You guys know I was on the faculty of Syracuse for a while, and it's been well known for a long time, ever since they made student loans more widely available, that universities have been jacking up the cost of college like crazy. So as a result, that is a drain on Black wealth, because half of all Black college graduates default on their student loans. When you default on your student loans, that makes it more difficult for you to go buy your first home. It makes it difficult for you to invest in the stock market. It makes it difficult for you to start a business. So ultimately, it's tougher for you to get positioned to become a wealth builder, because you haven't been able to jump that fence, right? So the big thing here is, I actually mentioned to a couple of people, there was a billionaire, what's his name? Mike something, not Mike Roberts, the one that's coming to the convention. There's another brother, I forgot his name, that runs the tech companies and went to Morehouse. He went to Morehouse and he paid off the tuition not the tuition. He paid off the student loans of all the students graduating in Morehouse that year. I thought that was really awesome. But what I really would love to see these guys do is not just pay off the student loans, because you're paying off an artificial debt. You're paying off a debt that shouldn't even exist. You're fighting, it's like Ghostbusters. You're killing a ghost. You're killing something that really, Robert Smith, thank you. You're killing something that really shouldn't be there in the first place. I would like to see us go a step further and say, how do we make sure that these men and women are in a position where they have access to capital so they can go borrow $100,000 and start a business? After getting some training. So they go through an incubator, which is far superior to college, to be honest with you. They go through some sort of incubator where they learn how to start businesses at a high level. And then at the end, your reward is that you get access to contacts, networks, and expertise. And we're going to put $100K in your bank account so you can go ahead and invest it as you will and go out and create businesses that will create jobs. This is what's going to save HBCUs. The number one reason, in my view, that HBCUs don't have an endowment, Harvard's endowment is literally 50 times greater than the endowments of all the top 20 HBCUs put together, right? So the reason that Harvard has such a big endowment of $53 billion is not because they just got lucky or have a bunch of employees. Sure, racism and all that does play a role. We know this. But a lot of the reason they have their big endowment is because they have billionaire graduates. They have billionaires that went to Harvard. They have people that founded companies that are worth $1 trillion now. So they come back to and they say, I love Harvard. And I always said when I became successful, I was going to write a check for Harvard. So the next thing you know, they go back to Harvard and they build a $200 million facility on campus because they got it like that. But HBCUs, unfortunately, if all you're doing is talking to your young people about getting jobs, well, we employed 3,000 people for white folks this year. I'm not making fun of it, but here's the deal. Employees can't write $50 million checks. Employees don't come and build entire buildings on campus. Employees can't come and fund your whole athletic department for the next 10 years. Employees, all employees can do most of the time, unfortunately, is ask their boss for a day off so they can come back to homecoming. Maybe that's what they can do, right? I'm not making fun of it. I promise you I'm not. I'm saying that we are the greatest people on the planet and we need to create our bosses. We're supposed to be kings and queens. We ain't supposed to just be servants to the throne. Okay, so what I'm saying to you is that the culture must shift to one where you are helping us. As a community, we understand that with that talented 10th, that super elite, those super smart young people, we have to put them in positions where they can create jobs for Black people instead of waiting for Morgan Stanley or whoever to decide they want to create a job for Black people. I don't give a damn about Morgan Stanley. I want to hear about Tyrone Stanley. I want to hear about Tyrone and Stanley going out and building that business together, or Shaniqua and Stanley getting together and going and creating a company that's going to create 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 jobs. And so because why is that? Well, because that's what moves the needle. That's what's going to save your HBCUs. Charity is not going to save your HBCUs. Government funding is not going to save your HBCUs. And even when you get that government funding, they can always take it away. So just understand, you got to change the game in terms of how you think. And when you're raising your kids, you got to prepare them to lead. There was a young brother I met. I do not have his name in front of me, but he went through something called Techstars. My brother works with Techstars. My brother is getting deep into venture capital, into that whole space. And Techstars brings together thousands of the smartest tech minds in the country, and they build businesses in these incubators. This brother was at the Power Networking Conference with George Fraser holds, which is the best conference ever. And Mike Roberts, the billionaire, introduced me to this kid. This kid built an artificial intelligence algorithm to analyze real estate deals that would let real estate deals flow through seamlessly through these artificial AI algorithms or whatever, right? And he's 100% pro-Black. And they literally, I think he said that they ran it for a while and they made $112 million in transactions in like 3 days or something crazy like that. So these are the types of geniuses that you have in your community. You got to support them. I don't want this brother running off and trying to become an employee for IBM or Google. I don't want Google benefiting from his genius. I want Black people benefiting from his genius, because Google don't really care about Black people. Google ain't really doing nothing heavy for the Black community, nor should they. That ain't our company. Where's our Google? I want a Google. I don't know. Give me a shout in the chat. Give me a yes if you understand where I'm coming from. Y'all know how I get. This stuff burns me up. I really need us to keep elevating our thinking so we can be in a position to lead and to win, because we deserve to win. We don't deserve to be second place. We are not built to be losers. All right. So moving on. One more. I'll mention again. Excuse me. Today's Dr. Boy shout out goes to Demetrius Wright out of St. Louis and his company blackmoneymatters.com. Demetrius is a great brother. He has a whole clothing line called Black Money Matters, and I really like Demetrius. I met him in St. Louis many years ago, and I have not forgotten him. And also, I want to remind everybody about the All Black National Convention that is going to take place in Charlotte, North Carolina, October 28th through the 30th. So come on down to Charlotte. It's 100% B1. We're going to have everything from panels on politics and crypto to training sessions on how to start a business and how to invest. We have a whole curriculum for children, so it's very family friendly. We're very family oriented. Also, we love Black men and Black women coming together. So my wife is actually going to do speed dating again, which was very successful. Keisha Ravenel actually met her husband last year at the speed dating event. So we're trying to bring good Black folks together, because Black family is Black wealth. Black family is revolutionary. Black love is the most revolutionary thing you can do. And I'm married to a Black woman. I'm very proud of that. And I'm not going to ever back off of that. All right. So anyway, let's move on. All right. So the other thing I want to mention is that I saw this other interesting article that really got my attention. It has to do with these meme stocks and short squeezes. And one of the things that's been happening is that you have these companies that become the target of stuff like Wall Street Bets. And what happens is that the people on the Wall Street Bets forum, I guess they get all fired up about the people on Wall Street that are doing that are shorting certain stocks. Okay. And so they get pissed off, and then what they do is they start pushing the price of the stock up, because they want to sort of stick it to the man. They want to stick it to these Wall Street companies. I don't quite get the logic behind why they get so fired up about it. All I can really see, honestly, is like some 35-year-old who's like manipulating the minds of a bunch of like 21-year-olds who have nothing to do. I really believe that. I don't believe that there's anything truly ethical kind of driving the meme stock frenzy, but it is what it is, right? So people are embracing this. And so what Wall Street has done, remember, Wall Street's always going to get their money. They always going to get paid. So what they've been doing is they've been studying Wall Street bets like lab rats. They've been hanging out on the forums like, yeah, dude, AMC apes, diamond hands, bro. Hey, hold on, homo for life, dude. Right? They're in there pretending to be part of the crowd so they can learn how the crowd thinks. And then on Wall Street, they're developing algorithms to help them know, okay, what is the next stock that might actually blow up and become the next AMC or the next GameStop or the next Bed Bath & Beyond. And these stocks are like hot potatoes, though. You buy it at 50, it shoots way up to 175. You better sell that damn thing because that sucker could drop right back down below 50 again. So what they did was they identified stocks that have the most short interest. That means the percentage of the total outstanding shares that have been short sold. This is all public information. So they've identified this, and they've also looked at stocks that are being the most mentioned on these forums. So they have little algorithms that'll tell them to do that. So so right now, of course, AMC, GameStop, and Bed Bath & Beyond are kind of at the top of the list. Here are some other candidates in case you want to play that game. Dick's Sporting Goods is ranked number one. It has the highest short interest right now. That they believe that could possibly be the next meme stock. Urban Outfitters, Sonic Automotive, Guess Jeans. Remember Guess Jeans? So they said that Guess is also being heavily bet against with almost 22% of its shares being shorted. And so one more. What's another one here? B. Riley Financial, which has the ticker symbol RILY. Again, this is not me telling you to invest in these stocks. This is not investment advice. This is just me stating what some of the experts are saying in terms of stocks that could become the next meme stocks. All right, so Marcus says, do you send friend invites on Facebook? I received one from you. No, Marcus, I do not send out friend invites. My personal Facebook is pretty full, so there's a good chance it's not me. Maybe look at the affiliations or something on the side, but I apologize, brother. I like you, Marcus. I just don't, but that's not me. So yeah, just as a warning again, there are lots of people out there that apparently there are people that pretend to be public figures so they can swindle people out of money. So I decided I want to go on a campaign and warn you guys about it as much as possible so you'll be prepared and they won't come and rip you off. All right, so I want to give a shout out also to Amani Shakita James from Ancient Healing Teas. Her website is ancienthealingteas.com, and she also is someone who sponsored today's podcast. So I want to throw out a shout out to Ancient Healing Teas. It seems like it's a product that's really great for women dealing with things like fibroids or that time of the month and things like that. So ancienthealingteas.com is the URL. So shout out to them. Thank you very much for sponsoring this podcast. And if you want to sponsor a podcast and you want me to shout you out, just go to drboysfinance.com. The URL's on the screen. And also I want to make an announcement to those of you that joined the Stock Options Income Training Camp that we're putting together. You can go to drboysprime.com, log in. That's where you can get all your free stuff. We're going to have a meeting this Thursday. That's when we're going to first get started. Also, my wife has scheduled one of the support group training sessions for not this Sunday, but the Sunday after that. So make sure you go log in at drboysprime.com, or anybody that wants to join. The special, the early bird special is done, but you can still join if you'd like to learn how to generate income by selling stock options. And the URL is drboysprime.com. So thank you guys for hanging out. It was nice seeing you. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you keep making this money. And let me see if the market's actually moved since we started talking. I'm going to look here and see what the market's doing right now. To see, I suspect it's going to keep going. I feel like there's momentum here. Yeah. Okay. It's moving up. So it's up to 565 on the Dow. So not a crazy day, but a good day. So as our good friend Ice Cube, who's come on the platform a couple times, has said, today was a good day. So go get your money and but be mindful, because all good things eventually do come to an end. So I want to make sure you do well. So take care, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Have a wonderful day. Peace.